Hello, my name is Matej. I'm a senior product designer for growth here at GitLab. Today I'm video documenting the experience of buying add-on CI minutes. This is a part of the UX scorecard work that's now well established at GitLab. To quickly summarize what a UX scorecard is, it's basically a way for designers to take a holistic approach to improving an experience. And we do this by first identifying the job to be done, so who the user is and what's their desired outcome. Then we map the user's journey. What is the current process to get to that desired outcome? And we grade the experience. So we establish an experience baseline that we will aim to improve in the following next months. And then we also video document the whole user journey. And this is what I'm currently just doing. So to start with the buying CI minutes on gitlab.com, I have defined now what the persona is and what their job to be done is. And the persona is basically a group owner, which aligns with our buyer persona. And this could be, in practice, it could be an engineering manager, a development lead, a VP of engineering. It very much depends on the company, the size of the company, the type of the company, and what is their job to be done. And I have outlined it now as when I realize that we are running out of CI minutes, I want to quickly and easily buy more so that our team can continue building and delivering software uninterrupted. I have also mapped the user journey, and I have two user journeys in this case, and it's simply because when I was mapping this journey, I encountered a lot of authentication errors in one of the tools that the users need to use. And it's not a common error that happens, but I still wanted to map it. And then I also mapped the journey as it is if a user doesn't encounter all these errors. So with this being now clear what the UX scorecard is and what our current persona is, what the job to be done is, what the main user journey is, let's dive straight into the actual process of buying additional CI minutes. And where the user can see their current usage of the CI minutes is on their group settings page if they go under usage quotas. And in this particular case, I have used more than my limit of 2000 minutes. I actually used 2009, and all my pipelines have now stopped. So this is where they can see their usage, but they are very likely to be warned about their CI pipeline minutes running out, either by an email message. So we send an email message when their pipeline minutes are where there's only 30% of them available. The content of these email warnings could be better because this is quite a dry email, and it could be phrased differently to more clearly communicate the message, which is basically saying, hey, you only have 30% of your CI minutes left. You need to do something about it. And then we also show these warning banners. But the problem with these is we only show them on project overview pages in that group that is running out of CI minutes. So we don't show them on the group overview page. We don't even show these warnings on the actual usage quota page. So we should definitely improve that. And then the content again, it could be clearer. It could state that this is for this group, because if I have a lot of groups, right? If I have 20 groups that I'm managing, I might not know all the names of these groups. So it might be a lot clearer if we actually stated that this is a group name. It warns you that only 5% of CI minutes is still available. And then it has two CTAs basically. One of them is click here to purchase more minutes, and the other one is purchase more minutes. And it's a bit confusing, but the most confusing part is that they actually, all these two CTAs, they lead to different destinations in this user journey, which adds to that confusion. So if a user was to click on either of these two links, they would end up in our what we call GitLab customers portal. And depending on where they clicked, if they clicked on click here, they would just land on this homepage. If they clicked on the purchase more minutes, we would actually send them down the correct path of buying more CI minutes, which is something that they can access from this page. But either way, to do that, I need to sign in. But as the user lands on this page, I want to emphasize the difference in their mental model from what we present to them, because what they're thinking about at this stage is buying CI minutes, but they actually land on a page titled Get a GitLab subscription, and we show them all these different plans that they can buy. And if they don't scroll all the way down, they're very likely to miss the most important thing that they're looking for, which is purchase CI minutes. But as I said, I need to authenticate with this tool to complete this task. And my main problem with documenting this user journey was that I couldn't authenticate with this tool because of a very particular authentication error, which actually is caused by a bug that we now identified and will be fixed separately from this work. I couldn't sign in, and it just figuring out what to do, it took me like an hour, which buying more CI minutes should take just like 2 or 3 minutes max. But either way, I need to sign in to GitLab. I already did that, so now it will automatically authenticate me into this tool. And now it finally shows me what I'm looking for, which is buy more CI minutes. And at this stage, I need to select what group am I buying these CI minutes for. Again, we should probably already pre-select this based on where the user's journey started, right? So in this case, we started in the group called pipeline test, and we could probably just pre-select on this step that group and still allow the user to select a different group if they needed to. And they can choose the amount of the 1000 minute packs that they want to purchase, and they can proceed to checkout. And one thing that's a bit confusing also on this screen is with that we actually state the period. We have this period information shown here, but it actually says January 31st, 2020 to January 31st, 2020, which is confusing. And I know why that is, because if you buy a subscription, it will actually tell you when your subscription is starting and when it will basically end. But in this particular case, because we're buying CI minutes, it doesn't really apply to it, because CI minutes, once a user buys them, if they don't use all of them, they will actually roll on into the next month. So this might add to the confusion in this particular process. And from here on, the user just needs to enter their payment information, accept the privacy policy and terms, and confirm the purchase. I won't do that right now because I'm actually in a production environment and it will charge my credit card. But what we show them after a successfully completed process is a congratulations screen. You just purchased 1000 CI minutes, and we told them to go and check out what's new in GitLab, which is a bit strange because I believe that users at this stage would want to see that would want to be reassured that their additional CI minutes that they just bought were actually added to their usage quota. And yeah, they should show up here. So we don't do that at the moment, which may add some confusion and adds a bit of manual work if a user wants to look for themselves just to be reassured. So if I go on to summarize the findings of this UX scorecard work, I've identified four main problems. The first one is that the experience is somewhat disjointed. The users are sent to a different tool where they need to complete the task, and we tend to send them to different parts of this tool, and some of them are just not right. We send them down the wrong path sometimes. There are unnecessary steps to complete this task. I don't think a user should authenticate with a separate tool to complete this task. It should be, as I said, like a 2 or 3 minute process, maybe even less, just a couple of clicks. Our warnings, I would say, are inadequate. The messaging in our email warnings and the banner warnings were just not clear enough, and different CTAs linking to different destinations, it adds to the confusion. So there's a lot of improvements that we can do there. And of course, the authentication problems. So this is not very likely that it will happen to all of the users, but it may happen. As I said, this bug will be fixed separately from this work, but in the long run, we should probably look for ways to maybe even avoid this whole authentication process. So based on all these things, I decided to rate the experience with a grade C, which is average. So steps to complete these tasks, to complete this task is average complexity. Frustration is might be medium, depends on if you encounter those authentication errors or not. And yeah, if we look at how our C grade is described in our UX scorecard grading rubric, workflow needs improvement, but user can still finish completing the task. It usually takes longer to complete the task than it should. User may abandon the process or try again later. So that's pretty much it for walking through the current flow of buying more CI minutes. We now have a baseline grade to work from. We will try to improve this in the coming months. The next step is actually to brainstorm and write down all the possible improvements. How can we improve this experience in a separate issue, and then revisit this experience in the next quarter to see have we improved or not, rescore the experience. And it seems like there's quite a lot of improvements that we can do in this particular case. So definitely stay tuned. I will add all the relevant links to the description of this video. So feel free to share your thoughts on the issues or epics or whatever I will end up linking in there. If you have any ideas, just feel free to share them. And that's pretty much it for now. Thanks for watching.